What's going on, guys? It's Frito here for your Overwatch. I've been having a blast playing the Overwatch 2 beta, and of course, I've been trying to get my turn playing Junker Queen. In today's video, I want to talk about how cool the new design of this type of character in Overwatch 2, she's the first one that's designed specifically for 5v5, is for the game of Overwatch, and what it signals for the general direction of the game, and why I'm so happy about it. And then also give you guys some things that I've been learning about the character and just show off some of my own highlights. Today's video sponsor is Prime Gaming. Did you know that Prime Gaming comes along with your Amazon Prime subscription? That means most of you already have gaming loot you can claim for your favorite games right now. It was super easy. I just clicked the link, looked up my favorite game, and boom, they're giving away a free legendary loot box to celebrate Overwatch 2's beta. Click the link below and claim yours now before July 22nd. There's going to be more Overwatch claims in the coming months, so you're definitely not going to want to miss out on those. But Prime Gaming has other benefits as well, like free games and free in-game content for 30 plus other titles. Oh my gosh, they got Hearthstone on here. I'm addicted to playing this on my phone. Ooh, dang, a free legendary card? That's actually some serious value. I'm gonna take up all these free games they get. Metal Slug 2. I've been meaning to check out Serial Cleaner as well. I think we're about to crash this website. Check back every month for new drops for your favorite games, as well as a Twitch subscription for your favorite streamer. What are you waiting for? Click the link in the description to get your free legendary loot box before July 22nd, and be on the lookout for the upcoming Overwatch loot with Prime Gaming. I want to talk a bit about the design philosophy of Junker Queen. And in short, I think no character has been more fun in the history of Overwatch. To me, anyway. The thing I like most about Junker Queen is that she feels like the soul of what the hero shooter is supposed to be. A combination of smart abilities, unique skill shots that hit that aren't traditional shooter mechanics, let's say. Some of them are, but maximizing the swing of an axe and a knife projectile. This is like different, you know, from your standard military shooter, especially. And that's what always made me fall in love with Overwatch originally. We as Overwatch players over the years, I think, have got a concept of what Overwatch is as the game transformed, particularly with how it later became in the second half of its life, forgetting how straightforward everything used to be in the first half of Overwatch's release. Junker Queen Overwatch 2 seems to set the precedent of what we should expect from this game. And while I think it's a bit of a shame that we're getting these piecemeal releases into multiple mini betas, so we haven't really been able to get a big wow factor of all the ideas they've had, I think by the time they really work through these ideas and attend more to the other roles, the reputation of this game is bound to change. I've been having a ton of fun on Junker Queen, but I've been having tons of fun on every role I play. The game just plays better when there are tanks like this that are fun to interact with. I think fighting against Junker Queen is interesting, and the more they can push the baseline meta of the game to be about using heroes that need to go do things as opposed to just exist. Now, something I'm concerned about is in the balance of the game, which almost feels like the support role is doomed to always have a super short queue time as they flock to the other roles that feel like they have bigger plays to make. And I'm curious what's going to end up happening with this, because we have a serious queue time problem here. I wonder if it's just because the game's in beta, and especially when there's ranked mode out, things might even out a bit when people are playing the main roles that they're good at, as opposed to just trying out the new stuff. But I also am a bit fearful that they're making the coolest characters in the game the ones that there's only one role of per game. And so while on one hand, I can see support players struggling against me and not realizing they're making key mistakes, like Brigida's playing too close to the front line and are trying to flail on me like they can win a melee against a tank now, instead of using the whip shot and backwards dash to get distance from me. Another example is Ana players. Stop using your abilities so early in the fight. It's no different than my Junker Queen abilities, which you want to wait for the opportune moment. Using anti-nade in the first second of the fight isn't a free win unless you have characters that are going to cleave and clean it up and do all the damage that is still left to be done. Be sure to watch our Ana mastery guide for this, that you can get a bit of advanced understanding of how to handle specific matchups, many of which still apply to the game today. You want to think of sleep more to interrupt and set up something, as opposed to just sleeping randomly, and anti-nade as a closer ability. I think a lot of the diehard player base, especially the ones that aren't adapting as well to Overwatch 2, would appreciate a little bit of that team fight formation sustain to exist in the game. Maybe not to the extent of double shield and goats and all that, to have just like a, you know, a thin layer of a security blanket from the support cast to smooth things out a little bit, because at the moment, their best plays are the lethal ones, but the rest of them are goodish when I think they could like demand a little bit more attention and force you to respect what their skills are. Immortality Field hiding behind 2 shields in Overwatch 1 was way too much, but how can we get a percentage of that into Overwatch 2 without slowing the game down to a crawl? I know a lot of you love the game the way it is. In some ways, I do as well. I'm just kind of trying to view the game objectively from all 3 roles and what players like to do and how to try to keep all the positives and level out the roles a little bit. Currently, I think it's just hard to see how badly tanks are overpowered when there's only one of them on the team. You just sort of expect the tank to be the strongest role of the 3, and I don't think that needs to be the case for them to still have fun. I think the design of Junker Queen is the genius of it. I don't need to be able to kill everything in front of me easily in order to have fun in this role. I'm actually kind of missing that main tank archetype a little bit when everything's about so much skill. Commanding Shout is her best ability, but like a lot of abilities in Overwatch, it is often best to wait for the opportune moment to use it rather than use it off cooldown. I know sometimes if you are used to RPG style games, you get the impression that if you just get more uses of something, it's like you're doing more with it. But Overwatch is a strategy game along with the shooter game. It still is a hero shooter after all. So that means it's best to gain the extra life and speed boost when you're ready to close the distance to make use of it. Junker Queen is basically useless at range, so you want to take as much time as you can to set up and walk into the place you need to be, or maybe shout to get to the first step and then regain your cooldown and go again. Because I think once you learn that ability, the rest will come naturally. And we had always thought about it in Overwatch. What would it be like if Reinhardt was in control of his Lucio's speed boost timing? Because that's so much to his value in the rush comp. Well, Junker Queen has the ability to decide that for you. So if you're a good Lucio player and understands rush comp, it's like having 2 characters in one. Not only do you get speed, but you get the extra health as well. So you want to wait either until you're going to commit to the fight or the enemy's committing onto you. Since I didn't waste my commanding shout as we began to take space out of the Eichenwald A choke here, I still had it in time to peel for Nathan on Zenyatta, and a big burst of 100 extra health on Zenyatta. Then he has 325 HP. This is the best peeling Nathan's ever had. And infuriating for an enemy flanker who thinks they're going to isolate a squishy. All of a sudden, you've got a big teamwork ability. Now, Junker Queen's not mostly about teamwork, of course, but using this ability well is the core, I think, to just getting the base value of her kits if your mechanics aren't great. You can focus on those timings, and that's really going to do a lot for you. And then once you begin getting yourself in those close range positions, that's where you start to get clever with your Reinhardt mechanics. Yes, if you've been watching our Reinhardt guides throughout the years, the combination of these few things make Junker Queen feel like a Reinhardt with skill shots. Everyone used to meme about the melee mechanics of tank characters, but I'm feeling like it's going a long way to swing the Carnage Axe, setting up for big multi-hits or guaranteed finishers on targets as a finishing blow tool. And while aiming the melee, remembering that melees have a lingering hitbox in Overwatch, so you can actually spin around a ton in order to get it to connect on multiple targets while in the animation. Combining both uses of these abilities is what's going to get you in deeper and survive longer, because at least for me, I'm mostly getting wounds off my melees. Okay, throwing the knife is really hard. I'll talk about that in a second, but I think you're reliably going to get your lifesteal off from your boosted melee. When you're holding Gracie in your hand, you do extra damage and apply wounds in between your shotgun shots, and then the big Carnage Axe. Especially since Junker Queen's the type of character with a speed boost, there's a lot of camera angle tricks I feel you can do, because Overwatch is a very peeker's advantage game. Sounds weird to be talking about this for a melee character, but if you know there's someone around the corner, using shout into the swing animation can really catch people off guard. And as you're running in the middle of the whole team, it feels like a brawling Reinhardt's dream playstyle, where your job is to get in as deep as possible so you can swing on everybody. I mean, that's essentially our Reinhardt mastery guide in a nutshell, right? Feels like this character was made for me and feeders like me. Well, guys, that's everything for today's video. I threw a lot out at you today. I'm curious to know what you think about Junker Queen, the state of the balance of the tanks as just a concept? Is the game still playing too chaotic? Should they give Brig a stun back maybe to slow things down? At the end of the day, would that actually break the game? I'm not even sure it would in 5v5, frankly. That's going to be a hot take. Be sure to check out today's video's sponsor, Prime Gaming, and get your legendary loot box by clicking the link in the description. That's been it for me. I've been Frito for your Overwatch. I'll see you guys next time.